Pillars of Faith, Part 1. I often had this idea. I want to be myself. I am myself. The more I recognize in myself the strengths, the charisms, and the gifts, and the more I give to Jesus all that isn't his as negative and useless, the more I discover myself. Then the more I explore and discover the love of God. Being ourselves allows us to let God reveal himself, who he is and how he does, since we are gradually losing masks and filters, and we are receiving the light that enlightens everything in and out. Then we meet with other people. When we try to have not a quick idea about people, we discover expressions, beauties of their lives that could have escaped us if we had stick to some false observation. There is something in us and in the people that escapes us, as long as we do not recognize what the Lord is doing at every moment in each person. As for communicating, it is sometimes difficult to talk about prayer, the Bible, with people. Even more difficult to talk about Jesus, the church, clearly. If not to avoid these subjects, or even to go around people to not answer them, for a lack of clear and precise meaning of faith. As much for service in the church together as to discover who we really are in front of God, we hope that this tool will help open hearts, heal what is hurt, reconcile people with each other, and that it will be practical to evangelize where we are. This tool does not claim to be the pinnacle of precision and clarity, but we hope it will help develop a simple foundation for discovering reality and saying things as they are in the church and about God, and maybe find new ways and means to simply say the meaning of our faith in God. We offer here some ideas. What if we would say it as it is and talk about faith simply? A person who walks in faith gives himself the means to develop, grow, and flourish until he becomes free by the grace of God. Here's an easy question. Who is God? What is the pinnacle of God according to you? What is the summit? The answer is love. So now, what is the deepest joy you have experienced? The joy, the love of God is infinite of this joy that we have lived. But there is nothing more natural than joy and love of God for us. We only need to welcome the love of God. Let's ask God to give us the grace to receive his graces. Our personal goal is to find and develop means to get closer to the joy and love of God. The church offers many ways to live faith experiences in God. The Word of God in the Bible, the Eucharist, and the sacraments are the basic means. There may be many other ideas and ways to lead us and introduce us within the heart of God. People in the church can help find activities to do or help us develop meaningful activities and teachings. Here's another question. Have you ever seen joy? So the answer is we have never seen joy. One cannot lift joy and love as one lifts up a chair. Joy, love is received and shared, and we receive love from God. So now let's join our hands together as for prayer. The right hand is God. He is love. The right hand is the justice of God. So what is the justice of God? God is just because he offers us everything that is beautiful, good, true, and real. We add real because people are trying to make us believe that an orange is an apple. Although they may repeat it and say it again, an apple will always be an apple, and an orange will always be an orange. So God offers us what is just, that is his justice. Love, life, mercy, joy, peace, happiness, all the gifts, the charisms, the fruits of the Spirit, and everything else that comes from God. Let's be aware and reflect about everything we receive from God. The left hand represents us. When both hands are together as for prayer, how do we feel? The answer usually is we feel peace. We feel an encounter with God. We feel good. The love of God passes totally and more. As soon as we think of God, that we welcome his love, we let him pass within us and through us. When we move ourselves slightly away from God, what happens? The answer is, when we move slightly away from God, from love, we feel a void. We think that God is leaving us, but it is us, we who are moving away from God. God is always with us. It is we who are moving away from God. Often we say while enduring the test, "Where are you, God? Where are you gone to? Can't you see I'm losing myself? Why aren't you with me when I'm down?" And God responds, "It is you who are slipping away from my love. I am always with you and in you. Find some time to join me in you and in the church." So we are moving away from love, and as a consequence, we are getting closer to evil. We could put this onto a scale, and we could ask ourselves, well, where do I stand? Where do we stand? Here or there? Sin is not merely all the drama we can recall and tell. Sin is much simpler than that. Sin is simply to leave from the love of God. The smallest sin can become strong and vigorous. It can create roots and grow. Let's be careful and aware of the smallest sin and take it seriously, because it can move us away from love and lead us into evil, to pain, to snares. It is one or the other, God or block him out, turn to evil, and wander helplessly away from love. The consequence of sin is evil. Then we hurt ourselves and we hurt others. The left hand separated from God, raised and pointed towards us, represents evil against us. The left hand pointing forward represents evil against others. Moreover, when we harm others, we hurt ourselves twice. We hurt ourselves because we have not been created to hurt others. Memory records and sticks the harm we do, and it harasses us. We feel the effects as long as we do not ask forgiveness from the person and forgive ourselves. And the person who hurts us hurts himself twice. Also, the love of God never hurts anyone. We harm ourselves by separating from his love. God knows only to love, and he does not do anything else. In his love, there is creation, life, love, peace, joy, and so on. It's really too simple. God leaves us free to choose him or not, to choose his love or not. This is the only decision we will encounter for our lives with God. It's the responsibility and the freedom we have. The remaining of our existence is transformed accordingly to our acceptance or our refusal of God's love. So, either we approach God or we approach evil. Now, what to decide? Hence, we never approach God and evil at the same time. We never get closer to God. When we get closer to God, we leave evil. The right hand stays in place. God is always there. He is always with us. He never leaves us. It is only the left hand that is leaving God. We are leaving out the love of God. The right hand remains in place. God is still here. God is always love with us.